That's that's my first part of my retirement, I should say, because I quit everything after that. I was like, fuck it, I needed to get out of that gangster rap music was my thing. We're stuck in that gangster rap music because that didn't give me a chance to network heavy hitters in the city, like like JD showed me a lot. I looked up to JD, I looked up to Iggy as a promoter, you know what I mean? Them dudes were doing this shit like what we're doing right now. That's what they were doing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they've been doing it.
Yeah. I need to go to regionals and place, at least be a placer to get a scholarship for Western Gunnison State. But I was getting in and out of trouble. We went on a high-speed chase like my senior year. We'd go to different shows all the time. Like this, we were doing shows like at club, like Planet 86, all those clubs downtown. Like they're in bars. They're like abandoned building now. I don't know. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot to take in. I'm trying to balance out my regular life and this Dom.com life, and it's cursing and a blessing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I figure I'm just gonna put all my chips on the table. I'm just going with it. Fuck it. I'll promote. That's when I got into promoting. I'd promote everywhere. You know what I mean? Then Facebook started, barely touching base, and then I'd be on Facebook. You know, check us out, Backstock Records. We're gonna be here tonight. This and that. Da da da. Come.
Welcome, everyone. You are now tuned into Frequency Modulation 228. Welcome to the studio. On here, we will be showcasing talent of all ranges and walks of life. We are here to bring in the future. So sit back and relax before the radio show.
What's up, y'all? Tony True here, front runner Anyone Can Thrive Studios. This is before the radio show. Today we got Dom.com up in the building. What's good, bro? How you doing?
Hey, Dom.com. I'm doing good. Feeling gravy.
That's good. That's good, bro.
Blessed day.
So what you been up to? What you been on?
Not much, really. Just basically trying to get back on track with life. You know, just had a lot of ups and downs in this past year. You know, dealing with my cases and dealing with my jobs and stuff like that. My probation, I have so much classes and stuff. Almost went to jail and stuff. So right now I'm just trying to get back in the loop with everything. You know.
Yeah, feel you. So, where did you grow up at? Were you born and raised here in Pueblo?
Yeah, I'm born and raised in Pueblo, Colorado. Yeah, I've been here all my life. I grew up on the west side of Pueblo. Yeah, I went to Centennial High School. Graduated in 2013. Still here. Yep. Never moved out of Pueblo. Still 719, right? Repping.
Oh yeah, it's cool. So, how was it like when you were going to school and stuff?
So, going to school. I was an athlete growing up, so I did a lot of sports. So I was really busy with a lot of sports. Soccer, baseball, football, wrestling. I wrestled from like 5th grade all the way to my senior year. I wrestled. So I wrestled a lot of different camps outside of school, inside of school. I was trying to get a scholarship my senior year actually, but I didn't get a play. I didn't play. I needed to place my senior year in order. I need to go to regionals and place, at least be a placer to get a scholarship for Western Gunnison State. But I was getting in and out of trouble. I went on a high-speed chase like my senior year. Then when I high-speed chase my senior year, I went to jail, got out, and then I lost opportunities from being on varsity. So then I got injured. I got injured my senior year too also. So I cut weight, got injured, so then I messed up my whole wrestling career. Then after that, I want to say I was like 19, 20. Then I started getting into the music scene. That's when I started getting into the music scene right after high school.
Oh yeah. That's cool. What was that injury?
Oh, my ribs. Yeah,
broken ribs.
Fractured my ribs. Yeah. So when I was wrestling my senior year, I was at 120, and we had another kid that came in the room. He was at 120. We sit there and battle for our varsity spot, and he was really good. My coach was like, Tom, he's like, I don't know, you know, he's giving me a fight type shit, and he's like, I think I want to keep him at 120. He's like, you want to stay on varsity? You got to drop down. So I had to drop down from 120 to 115. I dropped it down in like a short period of time, so I wasn't as healthy as I should have been. And then mind you, like I said, I went to tournaments outside of school. Like I went to Rocky Mountain Nationals. I'd go to all these different tournaments in Springs, Denver, all over. And I went to a tournament. It was like a 4-day tournament. I made it the third day. Each day was 5 matches a day. And I was ranked up there in the bracket, so I was wrestling some badass motherfuckers from all over the place. And they were beating the fuck out of me. Because mind you, I went from 120 to 115, so I was a little smaller.
Yeah.
Fucked me up bad. I had some bruised ribs and injuries all over. And then when I went to practice, I'd always wrestle with a higher weight class, and we were going over a different move, like a tilt or whatever, yada. And he moved me the opposite way, and I went the opposite way, and fucking my ribs just all popped, like cracked out, bro. I tried wrestling on him for like another 2 months on some fractured ribs, but couldn't do it. We gave it away.
Yeah.
Started partying hard, started doing heavy drugs, with my pain and shit like that, and then, then that's when I was focusing like on other stuff, because that's all I did was to fucking wrestle at like 2 practices a day, weightlifting, practice at school, and then after school practice. Like I was stacked on that shit, but
yeah. That's pretty cool. It sucks though that you had that injury, or else you would.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. And then a couple years later, I'd go to the gym and wrestle around different rooms with like my nephew and them wrestling for East. I'd go over there and roll around with them. And then some of my homies that I grew up with, they were coaching at DHPH High School, so they invited me to go over there and coach with them. And I coached them for like maybe half their season. And about half their season after, they wanted me to go full legit as a coach, and I don't think I was ready for it because I was partying too much. You know what I mean? But I went to a lot of their events, coached with them, got to know the kids and stuff like that. It was fun. Just being back in that atmosphere, you know?
Yeah. That's cool. It's cool. Did you do pretty good when you were going in all those matches and stuff?
Yeah, I was doing pretty good. Yeah, I was placing, like, I was, for the most part, I'd be like third or fourth on the big tournaments. Like in the minor tournaments, I'd place like first or second right away. It's just because in my bracket in the 120, from 120 to like 150 is a tough wrestlers from all over the place, bro. So like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? And I partied a lot though too, so like I wasn't in the best shape as I should have been. You know what I mean? I was wrestling kids that were wrestling from straight out of their diapers, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So getting into, like, after that, post your injury and stuff, you said you had started getting into the music scene.
Yeah.
What did you start getting into when you first got into it?
Yeah, so that's a good question too. When I first got in the music scene, I grew up in the neighborhood. I grew up in Hyde Park. I grew up in that neighborhood, and I grew up around a lot of gang activity at a young age too. So like I was in the streets and wrestling, but then in my neighborhood there was a shop to Get a Boy Sin, my brother Get a Boy Sin, Sincere Streetwear. Yeah, that was Backshack Records. They had started Backshack Records label shit before I was probably even alive. They started the label, and I grew up around all the homies in the hood, and we'd go to different shows all the time. Like this, we were doing shows like at club, like Planet 86, all those clubs downtown. Like they're in bars. They're like abandoned building now. So just hanging around the hood and stuff like that. Just hanging around all the homies. Everybody was doing music and shit, and I was just a part of it. I'd go to all the shows and stuff, and I'll start off as a hype man. I was just sitting there like hyping my homie up, like, you know, being on stage, handing out. And it was different back in the day too, because there was no social media. There wasn't even Facebook yet, I believe. There wasn't no Facebook yet, so it was like word of mouth. We were handing out flyers, we were handing out CDs, going to clubs and shit like that. And I kind of just enjoyed being around like the atmosphere of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it got to the point to where the homie saying, where like I was there every day with him in the studio, to the point where, you know, could just go over here, press play for this, do this for me, just like helping him get into it. And I felt interest in it. And then I'm always out in the club and talk to a person, and I talk to people. People enjoy being around me. So at that point, I just became a part of the team, where I was like, help promote. That's when I got into promoting. I'd promote everywhere, you know what I mean? Then Facebook started, barely touching base, and then I'd be on Facebook, you know, check us out, Backshack Records, we're gonna be here tonight, this and that, come, this and that. So then I slowly just started getting into that. You know what I mean? Like I was around homies rapping all the time. I never once got in the studio with all the homies. Maybe like a few times.
Yeah.
Like to fuck around with, but I just felt like it wasn't my image at that time. You know what I mean? I was so busy running around doing that politics shit though. And then the homie saying, he was at that point when I met him, he was ready at his peak. He already did all his shows and stuff like that too. So he wanted to do something different. So we brought on the homie Draco, pre Draco. You know what I mean? We brought on Draco, and that became our team right there. That was our team. It was the dream team. It was Draco. It was the King, Get a Boy Sin, the Prince, Draco, and then me, the Prodigy. And all three of us were working together, and we just started doing all of our shows. Like we were doing shows back to back. Just started getting in the studio and networking and promoting and shit like that. And then that's when the Berber Room started doing shows, and that's how I got to meet D. Martian, Chris Deshawn, JD, like all the old school, like Bap Dogs Records, or Bap Dogs, Mr. Smoke, like, and all them. So I grew up around all them, and then I just felt the interest of it. And like the only way I can get involved in it, since I was a rapper, it was just being a promoter and networking. I was just always bringing everybody together, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of what I'm doing now, you know?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, shit, we were rocking shows. I was part of Backshack label. I was part of Backshack label for a long time. We were probably going strong for like 4 or 5 years. And then, they were just, we were learning how to work with each other and stuff like that. And then, so my thing, I needed to get out of that gangster rap music was my thing. We're stuck in that gangster rap music because that didn't give me a chance to network and get in contact with a lot of other people because we were so on that like, fuck you, this is Backshack, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like
we came in the building, we're Backshack, we're gonna fuck your show up and take all your hoes. You know what I mean? So I was in that state of mind, and then I slowly like, because my homies, it was hard for them to talk to other people because then people didn't want to talk to the gangsters. They were kind of scared to talk to them like that. So I was like the one doing all the talking for everybody. You know what I mean? Got us in shows. We did shows with Black Pegasus. We did shows with Brother Lynch. We did shows with fucking Twisted Insane, The Black Sheep. We were doing all kinds of shows and shit like that. And I felt like once we started getting our peak, a lot of bad shit started happening. We got all legit on all the music platforms. We started doing merch, clothing line. We were doing bigger shows, and then or we got indicted, or I should say the hood got indicted in a big indictment charge. So the trap house I was staying at, DA came in, kicked the door down, rounded us all up, did all that shit, and kind of threw everybody off. So then Sam went to prison for like 12 years. Draco went and did his own thing with the Dream Team, and after that, I kind of just gave up on everything. I was like, fuck, like I don't know if I want to do this anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All this music shit was just bringing me drama. You know, I went to a lot of shows. I got shut up, drive-bys, this and that, yada yada. But then after that, that's my first part of my retirement, I should say, because I quit everything after that. I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go back to working 9 to 5 and do my own thing. And then just me being around the atmosphere of like all my homies were rappers like T-Rock Appliance and the whole GME, you know, or DME Entertainments. I started hanging around all them, and then that's when they started the Rocky Mountain movement at the old Bourbon Room downtown. So I'd go to their shows and watch them perform. They would have like different artists. They would have like 5 artists every other 2 weeks, two times out of the month on a Wednesday, Wicked Wednesdays. They would have shows over there, and then after that, it was a culture of different artists that all worked together. It wasn't like an actual label; it was just a movement. You know what I mean? Springs, Denver, and Pueblo, we all worked together. We all show each other love, help each other get in studios, go to shows, this and that. We started rocking that. And then when I started getting back into it, again, I started doing the backbone and started promoting the Rocky Mountain movement. I would just, because all my homies everybody I worked with was all in jail, in prison, or dead. So, you know what I mean? So all the gang stuff, I was kind of out of it. So now I could just go out there and be myself. That's when I went to the Dom.com. Everybody's like, Dom.com, you know what I mean?
So like Sam and Draco that were part of Backshack, they would both just quit too. And Sam
well, Sam, he kind of quit, but he had to because he had to go. He got sent to prison. Yeah. Draco went and actually, like, he went and did his own thing, honestly. Like, you know, shout out to him, the Dream Team. I brought him up to, like, I know that. He lived with me. I was his manager for a long time. I brought him up to where he needed to be at. And then after that, I think he wanted to venture off and do his own thing.
Just do his own thing.
Because it just wasn't the same. Like, we were chasing that Backshack limelight, but we couldn't do it with Sim behind bars. And then all the original Backshack members, they didn't want to move around unless Sim was out. So then it was just me and Draco, and then we kind of just like, you know, we just veered off from each other, you know what I mean?
So is Draco, is he the one that had a lot of his videos shot by Video God Visuals?
Yeah.
Danny Howard?
Yeah. Actually, Danny Howard. Actually, Danny Howard shot his first video if I remember correctly, Danny Howard's first video was shot with Draco.
That's dope. Yeah.
The West Side Story.
My homie Merckx, one of his first videos was shot by him too, and I was in that video, like me and some of the homies.
Yeah, this was like his first
It's like 8 years ago now.
Yeah, it's about 8 years ago. Yeah. The reason why I know it's one of his first videos because you watch the edit and quality on there. He wasn't on point yet, but he still did a good job though.
Yeah.
And then after that, he just like blew up. I think he wasn't even going by God Visual or something. He was going by something else, I think. But he was shooting videos though. He shot that first video. That's rest in peace, Danny Howard. That's how I first met Daniel. I came to the hood. He shot the West Side Story, and then we shot another one, My Bitches as a Writer. We shot that one too with him. Yeah, we did a lot with Draco though. But like at that point, I think I needed a new setting or new surrounding. I mean,
because I just wanted to get out of it.
Because like growing up, we had that gang shit and gangsta rap music. You know what I mean? Like that shit could only take you so far. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I was chasing that dream, chasing that limelight. I couldn't do it anymore, and I just sit there and like, it's done over with. I mean, we already made our name in the city. The people that did it before me already did it. You know what I mean? So I needed something new. You know what I mean? So then after all that happened, I took a break for a while, and then go back to the Rocky Mountain movement. That's when I wanted to look for artists to manage and shit like that and promote and put people on stage, because for being in the music industry for so long, there's people reaching out to me all the time. Yo, Dom, like, we got the show coming up. You know what I mean? Who do you got to put on? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because other promoters from Springs, Denver, and Pueblo, they would hit me up. Like, where's everybody at? Where's your people at? I'm like, Sam's locked up. Draco's locked up. I got no one right now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But just being a part of Rocky Mountain Movement was cool. And at that point, that's when I felt like I was a part of something again. I didn't feel all left out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though I was the only one from Backtrack repping the Rocky Mountain Movement. And after that, I was like, I need to start doing stuff for myself, you know what I mean? So then after that, years later, kind of in between the Rocky Mountain Movement, I ran into the homie Daryl. I was working at a nursing home. And D-Money, shout out D-Money too, I ran into him. And I was doing shows with Rocky Mountain Movement. That's before even the ciphers even dropped, I think. We were still just doing shows. And then I ran into Daryl. And he was rapping in the back. He always rap on his lunch breaks and shit like that. I'm like, damn, you sound good, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you actually rap or what? And like at that point, he told me, he's like, oh yeah, I already got these songs made, this and that, da da da. I was like, well, let me put you on a show. You know what I mean? Let's get you booked in. I was kind of put him on a couple of shows, and I felt like he wasn't ready for it yet. And then he actually told me, he's like, I want to start this label called LG8, like the eighth label.
Yeah. So
I was like, oh yeah, that's interesting. So we sat there, talked about it at work a few times. And then one day he hit me up. He's like, yo, do you pull up to the studio? I want you to meet everybody. So I pulled up to the studio, and I got to meet the whole label, which I kind of knew Fatboy Savage Byron a little bit, and that's when I actually got to meet him. Yeah, he was a part of, that's his Fatboy Wavy. Or no, this is Fatboy Savage. No, you guys know Fatboy Wavy now.
Oh, so he was Fatboy Savage.
Yeah, this is when he was Fatboy Savage in the streets, Fatboy Savage. You know what I mean? I went to the studio, met him, Jay Cuddy, Young Rico. I don't know if you remember Rico.
Yeah, I remember all
Rico, of them. Case, a different Case. Quan was there. It was Quan's house, and they had a little tiny studio inside of in the closet and shit like that. I went in there, and they introduced me to everybody, and he introduced me as the manager to the label and shit like that. We went and got the LLCs for all the logos, and we had someone out of California that made us all the LG8 logos and shit.
Was Most High a part of them too? Or no?
No, I think Most High barely started peaking. Most High barely started peaking. This is before like a lot of people were rapping.
Yeah.
Because I want to say, Most High was rapping. Actually, this is when
before me too.
This is when fucking Tron, before Tron was even rapping. Tron was just a hype man like how I was. Me and Tron go way back too, but this is when Tron had Fly Kings with Tron and D Martian. They were Fly Kings. But I felt like at that time though, the Fly Kings, like they all posted pictures and they're like Fly Kings, and it was D Martian and Tron and fucking all them, and I seen they had Daryl and Cuddy and all them taking pictures, but I felt like they weren't. I'm not talking shit, but I felt like they weren't focusing on them as artists. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was more just like a little group. So when we started out there at the label, shit, at that point, I threw so much shows at them, bro. We did like at least like 10 plus shows in the first couple months that we worked together. But I think they got overwhelmed about it too because they only had like 4 or 5 songs, and then me, I was trigger happy at that point because they're telling me, John, slow down, can't go to all these shows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I was just like booking shows. But I was excited. I mean, we did a big show at the Green Light. It was one of our first big shows we did together. But it was fun though, like running all them. We went from like 8 artists to like it started like every once in a while someone would fall off and want to do something different. So then when it came down to it was Jay Cuddy, D-Money, Fatboy Savage, and Quan, and then me, and then we were working together. And I felt like at that point I was doing too much to where like we all started just falling off our separate ways. You know what I mean? I was working with Rocky Mountain Movement still, and also working with them. And they would get mad, like, "Oh, we're not part of Rocky Mountain Movement." And I was like, "It's not. You're not saying part of it. Like, this is because I'm just a promoter. Like, you know, this is what I'm doing. You know what I mean?"
Yeah.
So we had fun with that. Like, it was a fun experience. You know, we did a lot of shows together, did a lot of events and shit like that. And then after that, that's when everybody started. Then I think after the LGA era, a lot of other people started coming up and doing shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
It was fun. I was kind of all over the place. Everything. So I just wanted to find I needed to find where I fit in, because at the time I wasn't shooting no videos. I shot videos back in the day, but I was more just like getting
focused on promoting.
Yeah, on promoting, getting everything going. And I mean, the whole Rocky Mountain Movement was fun too. Like, we started doing the Cypher series, and when we did the Cypher series, we had Icon do our beats. And so actually, before we did the Cypher series, you remember the Rappers Against the Rona?
Yes, I was on one of those two.
Yeah, I was like on the first like 4 of Rappers Against the Rona.
Yeah, I think I was on 3 or 4.
Yeah,
That was all during COVID. That's when a lot of the shit first started happening, like Colorado Buzz Effect and
the Buzz
all the
Effect,
other shows. Street Champs just started. I just did my Street Champs interview.
Yeah. Actually, I was supposed to do a Street Champs interview a long time ago though, but like I said though, I was like real cocky back in there, to talk a lot of shit, and I felt like I'm just gonna wait till my time is right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I was actually supposed to do one with them like last Thursday, but I was sick as fuck, and I was like, I'm just gonna wait until I have some more stuff to talk about and shit like that. But yeah. But the Cypress series was fun though. That was fun. They gave a chance to everybody to get down with each other and network and shit like that. There was just too much going on, and that because it wasn't an actual label; it was just a collective of artists though.
Yeah.
But some people in there wanted to make it more of a label than what it was, and take too much credit for everything. So like it just like it was going in the right direction. I remember you got on one too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I was on the first and the third. Or
the first and third, yeah. Oh no, I think you were like on the first one was the first one was
I was the one with Nano Nubs and
yeah,
a couple others. We did it at the
Red Rocks. Yeah.
Or not Red Rocks, but Garden of the Gods.
Yeah, Garden of the Gods. Oh yeah, that's where Garden of the Gods. Yeah. Yeah, I got on the second one. I wasn't even supposed to be on the second one. I was in the studio. We went up there in the studio and so we had a bunch of different artists get on there, but when T Rose and them, they were like, "Oh, you have to be in the studio in order to be on the cipher like that." And I mean, like it's cool if someone could just send in there to the. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that's what you're saying. She's trying to make it like a label. She's trying to make somebody be accountable for everything.
I could see where it's coming from though, as if it were a label though. But
yeah,
you know what I mean, I felt like she was watering a lot of shit down though. But yeah, in the studio, we were sitting there and I met Nano Nubs the first time, and then rest in peace, Black Hat, Oathkeeper.
Yeah,
I met Oathkeeper, and then that day we had a whole lineup though that day, but some people didn't show up though. So like we get there, Nano was already there. I got to meet Nano. And then we went up there with Oathkeeper, and then the producer, QB Mossberg, was like, "Yo, I got this little homie, Gabriel." Yep. That's tight. Yeah, recipe Oathkeeper. Yep. I got the magnets too. I got the little pins. I got them on my hard hat too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got there, and then the whole studio session changed. Where we had Gabriel Martinez, bro. He's doing big things right now. Doing big things out there in Springs, but he was only 16 when he got on the track too.
Yeah.
And then someone else didn't pull out. So then they were like, "Come on, Dom, get on real quick." I'm like, "Oh, no, I don't know." I was like, I don't know about this shit, but I was like trying to rap and shit like that. And then I was like, you know what, fuck it. Hopped on, did my 16. I don't think I even did a full 16.
So you did rap on that? I don't even
from chapter 2. Yeah,
I remember it, but I kind of don't. I guess I don't remember.
Yeah. It goes Nano, me, Oathkeeper, and then Gabriel.
Yeah.
And my shit's small. It's like fucking like 40 seconds long probably. Because I was supposed to go back up there and redo it. And then I remember it took us so long to even get that studio session because we already had, like, I think there was like, after I got on there was like 5 or 6 chapters. Because prior to that, we already had everybody lined up. But there was just so much bad shit going on. I just wanted to get up. But it was fun though. So anyway, topic. We did the cipher.
Just talking about the cipher.
Yeah. We did the cipher. And then after that cipher kind of blew up though. That's when the Rappers Against, there's no 2 places that were doing shows. So we did the Rappers Against the Rona. We did that. We performed that cipher like at the first
Sunshine Studios.
Yeah, like in front of like 300 people, bro. It was dope.
Yeah.
We did like 300-400 people. That first one was stacked. So we went like a little mini tour. We did the Rappers Against the Rona. We did a bunch of other events. And then once I felt like that cipher wasn't going anywhere after all that stuff, I just like jumped out of that shit.
Yeah. And
then after that's when I started the ciphers fell off. And then that's like my second retirement after that. I was like, I'm done with all this music shit. You know what I mean? And then after at some point during the ciphers, that's when some big homies reached out to me and they're like, "Yo, Dom, come throw an event for me." And I was like, I never threw an event or hosted an event. I'm used to just like booking shows, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just getting on there, getting artists in, book the whole event or the shows, yada yada. So I did my first
same thing with my first event hosting it.
Yeah. I did my first event that cipher was in 2020. So yeah, 2020, sometime after that. I did my first show. It was Creep Luck's birthday bash, the 202 Refinery. I did that, and it was a very successful show. It was interesting to see what I was capable of doing as far as line up, you know what I mean, and getting the whole shebang together, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And after that, I started hosting more shows, and then I didn't like my stage name. I grew up as Lil Burnham. That was like my rap name, Lil Burnham, my stage name. But then all my social media platforms were all Dom.com or it's a Dom, whatever. So then everybody knew me as Dom, like it's a Dom, and then the Dom.com came along. And then when I started throwing my shows, like I wasn't even portraying myself as the Dom.com anymore. And then everybody be like, Dom.com. So then Dom.com started coming in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then after that, I started getting back in the scene again. I was like, fuck, I'm doing some shows. And like, after I threw all those shows, like I almost thought there was some more so, but I started focusing on putting the image out there of like videos and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like people shoot music videos and shit like that. That's dope though. I like doing recap videos of events, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm interested in that. Like my phone's off by sure right now though, but like so
documenting it.
Yeah, like I like documenting shit like that, like behind the scenes, you know what I mean? I'm always out there with my camera, my gimbal, just recording everything, you know?
Yeah.
Putting those sick ass videos together, like I fuck with the Drum and Bass Society too. The Drum and Bass Society, they're all those EDM DJs and shit like that too. So I got into that and I follow them all around. I'm kind of a part of their street team too. I've been shooting videos for them. You know what I mean? And shout out to all the DJs down here too. You know, all the DJs like Smithers and Superstar and everybody. Like, I'm kind of like their corner man. You know what I mean? Because everybody sees up here. Everybody sees them behind the stage though, whatever. But I'll get up in there and watch them scratch and edit some sick ass videos for them and get the crowd and everything. So like, you know what I mean? That's what I'm kind of into right now, and it's fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah. At
first, like, you know, I didn't think they would like they want me shooting the videos though. But then after that, I shot a video, edit it, and post it, and then Smith hit me up. He's like, "Nigga, I need that video, bro. Like, fuck, let's work." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And at one point too, a lot of people tell me too, like, you know, let's see what you got. You know, put you on the team. We'll get you paid out, this and that. You know what I mean? But there was just so much shit going on. Like, fuck, I need to invest in everything right now, and I feel like I'm a little bit all over the place right now. So I need to narrow it down. I'm gonna narrow it down. Right now, what I'm gonna narrow it down to is just hosting these events and then shooting my videos on the side. Because I have a lot of stuff coming on too, like the Slap Talk too is coming soon, and it's coming to the Pueblo. It's gonna be a one-on-one street basketball, like no rules. You can argue, you just can't fight type shit until the whistle blows, and you basically get bragging rights. And it's gonna be coming here soon. They're gonna start doing shit at actually next Sunday we're supposed to shoot our first little sit down where they talk about everything.
Yeah, so Slap Talk, who's hosting and starting?
So Ben, his name is Ben.
Ben,
I forgot his last name. Ben. Yeah, so Ben, you can follow him on Facebook, and they're gonna have celebrity hosts as far as like Max to the Max and Byron and Tron. They're all gonna be celebrity hosts. So if you see on Facebook and YouTube, Slap Talk, yeah, there's gonna be everything's in the works right now. So it's hard for me to explain everything right now. But we sat down, we talked about it though. I'm gonna be shooting a lot of videos for them and shit like that, but it's gonna be fun. Because a lot of people, they're gonna have like one-on-ones, like a couple different games, but mainly like one-on-ones, and it's just gonna, you know, a lot of commentary talking about who's the baddest basketball player or whatever, shit like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna be fun.
For sure.
I'm interested to see how that is though. So, like I said, right now, the boat I'm in right now, I'm just trying to narrow it down to what I want to do as far as, I just want to be going back to my promotion. I want to be able to put artists in the right way, you know what I mean? Because I know I've been in the game for so long, you know what I mean? Like, I've seen everybody come up, and I see a lot of potential in a lot of these upcoming artists, and I want to see everybody win in their city, you know what I mean? That's my main thing. So I definitely just want to see everybody win and everybody do good, you know? I want to sit there and push people in the right direction, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because back in the day, when I was rapping shit like that, I really didn't have too much other than hang around big homies and take notes, you know what I mean? As far as my big homies, I mean, like all the big heavy hitters in the city, like, you know, like JD showed me a lot. I looked up to JD, I looked up to Iggy as a promoter, you know what I mean? Them dudes were doing this shit, like, what we're doing right now, that's what they were doing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they've been doing it.
Yeah. And like another thing too, like the homie Gabe posted that thing about, what do you think about passing the torch over to the next generation? I seen that quote, and JD commented on there too, and he shared it, but then he deleted it though, but that's a good question too, like, because I'm in the middle, I'm 32 years old, bro. Like, I seen a lot of cats. I was doing this music shit before a lot of people were even thinking about doing music, and just to see the whole culture change, it's cool to see everything just go up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's only gotten bigger, and it's only going to go that way as long as we have the leaders.
Yeah, that's the thing, leaders too. Like, I had good leadership growing up at a young age. And then the main leadership I had was I grew up in that gangster rap music, so I was like that fuck everybody type shit.
Yeah.
That got me to where at a certain point though, but then seeing everybody else though, like JD and everybody else, like, yo, Dom, you're doing good, to move this way, do this, say this a little differently, or change your image up like this, and da-da-da, you know what I mean? Man, just put on for the city, really type shit.
That's weird. I gotta restart it. Talking about JD.
Yeah, so JD and them, bro, like, I hung around them. I watched them host so many events and shit like that, and like, I just wanted to be a part of it, you know what I mean? Like, I was in that mix of like, man, should I was around a lot of rappers. I could have been in the studio making an album and shit like that, but it just wasn't me. I'd jump on like a track here and there though, but I just wanted I wanted to be that person to put that music out there for everybody to see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because everybody would hit me up like, "Yo, what's going on? What's going on? What events going on?" You know what I mean? Like, shit, tune in. You know what I mean? But so much events coming up. Actually, we did a couple of events at the Tandoori's. Is it Tandoori's?
Mr. Tandoori's.
Mr. Tandoori's. Yeah, we did a show for Black Pegasus there one time, and that was fun.
That's dope. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, we did a show for Black Pegasus there. It was cool. DME actually did that show. We brought Black Pegasus down, and it was pretty fun.
So I wanted to talk about that too. Like, it's dope because we're documenting a lot of the history and culture of everything. So like DME, were they like before LD8 and stuff?
Oh yeah, DME. Yeah.
DME was all part of DME.
So DME was you had Anomaly, you had Isaac, son of Abe, and then Adam Anthrax was a part of it too. Adam Anthrax was a POD, like the Juggalo rappers, and that was their main little clique right there. And then they when the Rocky Mountain movement started popping off. Oh, and I forgot the other homegirl. Her name's man, I can't think of her name now. Something Love, Brianne Love. She was a singer, bro. She was a dope ass singer for their group. Shout out to her too. I hope she's doing good out there. That was it. So that was it. And then they added on. Nano Nubs got signed on when I met him, and T Rose got signed on, and they had someone else signed on too. And they were pretty good. But I actually have a hard copy CD at their crib of a. I don't know if you could find them. The Event Entertainment, if they're still on YouTube or not. But yeah, they were like one of the main labels out here back in the day.
Yeah, I've heard about them a lot and like everything that they did, but I haven't heard none of them.
Yeah, they did a lot, bro. They were one that started the Rocky Mountain movement too, bro. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I helped promote them too. I helped them sell CDs and shit. Yeah. They go way back, bro. Like, you got Bap Dogs, fucking Steel City Hustlers, Back Shack. Then like D Martian's group, like Chris and Sean. I'm trying to think who else. I don't know. Those were like some of like the main people, and then Green Rush Records too. Green Rush Records. Actually, the homies from Green Rush were shooting the Rocky Mountain Movement videos.
Yeah, I remember that Tino and them.
Tino and them. Yeah, shout out to Tino and them. Yeah, Green Rush. Yeah, those like the OG fucking labels in Pueblo back in the day.
Yeah,
that were holding that down, and then now I felt like once the social media took over, that gave everybody an opportunity to like to get into like the music life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, to make it bigger than what it was.
Because before it was like you had to know somebody, or you had to be a part of like back in the day it wasn't no solo. Everybody was a part of a group or a side of town, and that's how it was. And then now in the music industry, everybody can get behind their phone and make a song, make a name on YouTube or make a name on Facebook and go through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's cool to see the culture change though. It's definitely cool to see the culture change. It's different.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, we have Reverb Nation and SoundCloud. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now you can put your music on any platform.
On Spotify, you put it on everything. It's crazy, man. Yeah.
So what's like a piece of advice that you can give an artist or promoter or somebody that wants to get into everything that you've done? Because you have a lot of experience in everything that you've done.
I'm still best thing to do is just I don't know. That's a good question. Like I'm still taking. I feel like I have the blueprints to everything because of what I've been through though. But you just live and you learn. You just take whatever you go. I don't know how to explain this. To see. Best way I could put it is just keep doing what you want to do and to either take it as a lesson or a loss, whatever happens, good or bad. You know what I mean? Just keep pushing forward. You want to get into promoting. You know what I mean? You got to get out there. Anything you want to do, you got to get out there and get out of your comfort zone and get on your feet work. It's the feet work. You got to get there and talk to everybody and network and see where everybody's at and see what's going on, see who's out here moving and who's not fucking with each other or what's going on. You got to get out there and do a lot of feet work for sure. That's what it is. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's the best thing. You know, just keep doing what you want to do and focus on it and just don't get distracted. You know what I mean? You're going to have ups and downs. You know what I mean? Like I went through a lot in my past years. I figured out what I wanted to do. I was a rapper at one point, as a promoter at one point, this and that. But everything, I don't know, it's a good experience to learn. Just keep pushing. And don't let anybody tell you different about what you want to do, you know what I mean? Yeah. Stand 10 toes behind whatever you want to do, you know what I mean? Like I'm Dom.com, stand behind that. Dom.com, there's nobody gonna move it or change it. You know what I mean? Yeah. The best advice I can give though, shit. I'm still learning myself though. Even like the older promoters too, everybody's still learning, you know what I mean? You just gotta just get out there and if you want to do it, just do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like you were just talking about like with with Facebook and everything coming along back then, all of it is a skill. And like you just said, getting out and doing it is the only way you could actually learn all of it. It's the best way that you could learn it.
That's the best way. Hands-on. That's the best way to do it, is get your hands on. You got to get out there, and you got to be able to the main thing is just network. That's the best advice, is network as much as you can. Get to know everybody. Don't let your ego. I mean, it's cool to be kind of selfish and be like, this is my brand, this is who I am. I mean, if you want to be that people person, you know what I mean, get you a team. You need a team. Get you a team, so you have someone on your team go out there and push you out there like that. You know what I mean? Because that's why I was. Because I had a lot of artists I worked with that weren't so social, weren't about that social life. So I went out there and put them on and get out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's easier for me because I go out there and talk to anybody. You know what I mean? Back in the day, if it was like shit, if it was like 8 years ago, bro, it was a hard person. I was a knucklehead. I was a hard person to talk to. You know what I mean? Now I'm more or less just open up to everything, and I want to see everybody move and thrive and strive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's so much talent out here, and it's crazy. Everybody should be getting along. You know what I mean? But coming from, I guess, bigger cities are different, though. I feel like people out of your city show more love than you in your city. You know what I mean?
I can see that for sure. Like I've sold out a show here too, but it took me like 6 or 7 shows to even sell 20 tickets.
Yeah.
In Denver, my first show, I opened up for Twista and I sold 40 tickets.
Yeah, definitely. That's what it definitely is. Yeah. So me being like a promoter too, like people would I wouldn't even have to worry about like stressing about my sell tickets. Just me throwing an event. I already knew people were going to come regardless of who was going to perform or not. You know what I mean? They were just going to come. And some people like, are you singing? Are you rapping? So then I was like, I didn't want to disappoint anybody. So then I would always put Tito Knock Appliance on because he's like one of the rarest person best friend of mine too that I have a track with. So then like
you'd be able to perform.
Yeah, so March 28th, I'm going to do that show too, March 28th though too. And that's why I want to go back into like what I was saying earlier about throwing an event. As far as like throwing an actual rap show, I want to throw in an event because if I throw an event, then I can really attract all the different types of crowd in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So let's say that, like, what's your next move and what do you want to start doing within the next few years?
Okay. So my next move, so Dom.com, the brand, I'm gonna go legit with, this is a different shirt though, but I'm gonna go legit with the merchandise. And as far as I want to be more of an entertainer and a promoter. So like, I want to be able to promote bigger events, and not necessarily like hip hop events, but like a party events. You know what I mean? Like a club event. But then I'll book the entertainment on there as artists, so then they can get network and bring a crowd. I want to just throw parties for everybody. I like throwing parties. I want to see everybody have a good time and turn up and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we were supposed to throw a fun party at the 202 refinery. You know what I mean? Because I want to be able to, instead of throwing events, just attract like rap, say how do you say that, like rap fans and stuff like that. All the fans for rap music. I want to attract everybody. I want to bring everyone
to one genre.
Yeah, I want to bring the whole city. I want to do like I threw a lingerie event one time. I mean, that was fun. I mean, that was interesting because artists got to perform, and then girls and other guys got to come, and girls want to dress up, calling me, yo, what should I wear? And I'm like, I don't know. I just lingerie.
Yeah.
Wear some booty shorts, lingerie, whatever. You know? But mainly that's what I want to do. Just in the next future here for Pueblo and Springs and Denver, I want to be able to work with. I have other people out of town I want to work with. I want to throw more events, friendly, safe events that everybody can have fun with. And, you know, because we don't have too many big events like that for the inner city. You know what I mean? We got like that hip hop event that comes around every so often. I'm gonna do something like that too.
The one that Javier Quinones.
Yeah. Shout out to Matt too. Yeah, he's actually come. Yeah, Matt Freshie. They came to come with my shows too.
Yeah, he's cool, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Super dope.
But I want to get involved with people like that too. Like I want to start doing stuff for the community. Is my main thing. That's my main move. I want to do more stuff for the community. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to be able to do like an all age event. Like I talked about wanting to do an event where I did something for the kids. Like I wanted to have some DJs pull up, and then the daytime you can bring your kids and your family and have a couple local DJs and vendors and promoters, and like I want to be able to whole community to get together because I got different companies that I'm working with, just like that. I want to be able to come. You come to a Dom.com event, you're gonna come. You're gonna see some friendly music. The kids can walk around. You know, if there's kids that want to get into DJs, I'm gonna have a little DJ booth up, and they have these little kids could understand how it is to be a DJ or talk to some rap artists that want to sing or this and that. You know what I mean? Shut that down before it gets too dark, and then end of the night it'll be for adults and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because a lot of kids look up to this, like rap music and music like that is a big influence in kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And every type of music.
Yeah, all these little kids walking around listening to music, and like that's the best way we're gonna help our community out is through the music. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's how we'll be able to continue passing it on through generations, like you just mentioned. the passing the torch post.
That's passing the torch. I feel like we want to pass the torch. It's not like we're gonna sit down and retire and you guys do it. We're gonna pass it. We're gonna
passing the knowledge.
The knowledge.
It's not even passing the torch. It's passing everything that we have to be able for them to learn how to do it. Because like everything we just mentioned, it's all skills, work, building, going out and boots on the ground and actually doing it. And they're not going to learn any of that if they don't have somebody to teach them. Yeah, and
I feel like there's like the new generation too. There's so much competitivity. It's hard for people to accept criticism or accept shit like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So as like I'm in my onk era right now. I'm in my 30s. I'm like onk now. You know what I mean? I'm not like no YN anymore. You know what I mean? But like even hanging out with the little homies in the hood too. Like I was sitting there and we chilling. Like we used to chill up in the apartments or in the trap house, and everybody's all strapped up, all pulled up. I'm like, what's going on? Like, what are you guys doing? What, you making money? Who's doing music? Like you got business going on? Like what's going on here? Like you know what I mean? Like. I want to see it for no reason. Yeah, like what's going on? I mean? But yeah, it's the best thing though. The passing the torch on. It's just like I just want to see everybody move successfully, and I want the whole city to churn up and not put a bad name for our city. You know what I mean? Because I feel like sometimes Springs and them take some credit for what Pueblo's doing though too. But lately, this last year though, with your movement, you have too, and Street Champs and the Colorado Heavy Hitters and everything coming up. We're slowly coming out. Or we're slowly coming up out the woodworks. Yeah. Like legitly now. Because before
it's only Street Champs. Yeah. And other than me now. And I'm nowhere near them. I have to continue building.
Yeah. I mean, you're getting there though, shit. Yeah. You're going to get there. But yeah, Street Champs, they worked a lot of hard work with everything. Shout out to them too though. But that's actually a good outlet to get known out there. You know what I mean? Denver has that.
I mean.
Yeah, my high minute,
Yeah, I do edits and stuff for them, and then now Street Champs is in Denver as well.
Yeah.
They got a studio up there too, so now.
Yeah, I've been stuck in Pueblo for so long, bro. Like, I have so much connections out there in Springs. I need to get out there and get out of my comfort zone and go out there and start networking some more, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, when I went and did that show, I've been on the scene for a while, and I went and shot some videos for ICMG at the Loft for Valentine's Day. And I went out there, and I've been like, I'm kind of like, me being on the ankle bracelet and secluding myself a little bit, it was kind of hard for me to get back in the scene again and shit like that. So like being out in the scene, bro, I was kind of like being like nervous and shit. When I went out there, bro, everybody showed me mad love. I forgot how much people I knew out there in Springs, like artists and shit. They're like, Dom, what up, Dom, walking. I'm like, fuck, shit, I'm back. Dom comes back. Let's do this. But yeah, I don't know. I got love for the whole state, the whole box state. Yeah.
So let's go into. Like, what made you not want to start rapping and stuff and doing a little bit more, like going videos and everything?
That's a good question too. I think about that
instead of just promoting.
See, I don't know. I tried.
You did mention like getting in trouble a little bit.
Yeah, I tried. I think I tried. I just didn't know how I wanted to go about it. Yeah. I guess my style at the time was a little different, and like I grew up listening to like all like Tech Nine, Brother Lynch. Twisted, Insane Twister, like a lot of the fast rap and shit like that kind of stuff. Yeah. And I felt like the label I was was mainly just like gangster rap music. They just rapped about the hood, rapped about the homies, doing crazy ass shit, and I felt like I felt like my image wasn't that where it should have been at. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think working with Rocky Mountain Movement with the ciphers, I felt like I was more of like a cipher rapper. I guess. I don't know. I tried like one day. Like I tried like. Every time we try getting in the booth, I try being like that rapper kind of guy, but it just didn't. I don't know, it just didn't work. Yeah. I guess I wasn't. I wasn't quick enough to come up with more topics to rap about. I was more of like a one hit guy. I mean, one take real quick. Let me just do one take and that's it, and move on. One take and move on. Yeah. But I was more focused. I loved more of just making shit work, like doing the backbone. You know what I mean? Yeah. Booking all the shows was fun. Seeing the behind the scenes, you know what I mean? Doing all putting all the set together, fucking printing out flyers, staying up late at night on the fucking old laptop, burning CDs, stacks of CDs. Walking to the bar with a stack of CDs in my pocket and shit like that. I love just being out there in the streets, man. The homies that sat there, they had stories to talk about what they went through, and they had topics to rap about. So that was more than me. It was just like I'm just all over the place to sit down and be able to make a rap song or a label. You know what I mean?
No, I definitely feel you. It's hard.
I had the label as a rapper though. Everywhere I went, you know what I mean? They're like, I heard you rapping, I heard you doing this and that, and I was like, I'd go with them like, yeah. I said I thought about it, like I'm not really rapping. I'm like, I'm there though. I'm a part of the scene, just wasn't rapping. Yeah. I'll just be on the scene, bro. Just let a lot of homies go to the studio. Y'all can rap, do what you want to do. I'm on the phone, calling club promoters. I'm over here fucking on when Facebook just started, you know what I mean, going live and shit like that.
Yeah, doing all the business, behind the scenes shit.
You know, business shit, selling tickets, making sure everybody was good to go, letting everybody know what events we had coming up and shit like that. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Here in the future though, I do want to get on a couple of tracks with some homies just cause, you know, I've been owing them some studio time and shit like that to get on a track though. But other than that, I don't know. I'm just focusing on just doing something for the community. You know what I mean? Being an entertainer and promoter is it's what's locked with me for a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I figure I'm in my 30s though. I mean, I know a lot of older guys rapping though, but I feel like I don't have that drive anymore for that to sit there and become a rap artist like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I want to sit there and I want to be able to manage some artists and some people, and then just throw events and just keep the motion going, just keep the circulation going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of potential, a lot of artists that I want to reach out to. I don't throw names out there, but I want to reach out to, and I feel like I could be a good fit for them. Because there was other artists like, there was this female artist that did one of my shows too, Tessa Anderson. She's a good at female artist. I met her because I used to hang out with a lot of strippers, and I think she was dancing at one of the clubs. And I did a show with her, put her on a show, and the way she was moving, I felt like she was looking for a manager, but I felt like I wouldn't have been a good manager for I wouldn't be able to move her in the direction she wanted to be moved in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like these other little homies, I want to be able to put them in the image and the direction they want to go in as far as shows. You know what I mean? Because I don't know, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot to take in. I'm trying to balance out my regular life and this Dom.com life, and it's cursing and a blessing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I figure I'm just gonna put all my chips on the table. I'm just going with it. Fuck it. I took too many losses at this point.
Yeah. So you mentioned getting in a little bit of trouble and shit. Like, do you feel like that, like during your second retirement, you say, did that kind of slow you down a little bit?
Yeah, it did. Just because I stressed a lot, bro. Like I got in trouble. Like the high speed chase that went on, and then.
Oh, I wanted to ask you about that too.
Yeah. So yeah, I would just. It was stupid as fuck. I had a lot of tickets from high school from like fighting and theft tickets and shit like that, and I missed a couple of court dates because I was so busy with wrestling. You know what I mean? Like wrestling was everything for me in high school, but at the same time I would get in trouble here and there, and I was with some friends and we were at the wrong place, wrong time. Cop tried pulling us over. I had too many warrants. I didn't want to get pulled over. The homies dipped out of the car. Me and the other homie, we kept on driving and took on high speed, and the cops, we went on a high speed chase for at least 40 minutes before they caught us.
Yeah.
Before I crashed the car and got out.
Did you guys get off, or did you?
Yeah, I got jammed up with everything. I got jammed up with everything. And then that trouble just keeps pushing me down too. Like, I want to say, after all those shows I did too recently, I was doing all the shows with Creepy Look and shit like that, and I was in the middle of getting engaged to this girl I met at the strip club. She was a stripper too. I met her, and then it was hard to balance out because I'm trying to do shows and live that Dom.com life. I loved being that public figure. I loved all the attention and shit like that, but then I had to keep this chick happy and then trying to balance everything out, and it kind of watered me down, and I felt overwhelmed and then I felt like I couldn't give my all into the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like, you have a family of yourself though, so
yeah,
it's probably a little different though. But
3 now.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, respect that. Being able to do all this and that and be a family man, it's a blessing. I was trying to do that too, but I think I wasn't in the right state of mind at that time. I was still on my young nigga shit. I wanted all that attention and didn't know how to network and everything. And so there was so much being in trouble, and that relationships fucked me up in this game.
Yeah.
So right now, I just want to focus on myself. I want to make sure I'm good. I'm my head straight, financially stable, mentally stable, and then just do all this. And then the time comes. But yeah, that getting in trouble was just hard for me to like. When I get in trouble, I shut down hard. I just shut everything down. Even recently, when I just got the ankle bracelet, when I was on the ankle bracelet, I turned my social media off. I didn't have social media for months. Nothing.
Yeah, it's hard to be social when you're dealing with shit.
Yeah. Even the homie said too. The homie said was like, when you're in the joint, you didn't make any music or what? He's like, I didn't bust one flow or nothing when I was in there.
He wasn't even writing or anything?
No.
Yeah.
A lot of homies are like that too. And then, I guess with the younger homies, it's easier because you got shit to rap about though. But nowadays, it's just, oh man, like, I'm stressing right now too. I gotta go see the judge in June. So I feel like this music shit, when I have something to look forward to, it keeps me in the right direction. You know what I mean? If I'm not doing nothing with the music, or I'm not doing any events or shows, I'm out here partying in the clubs every night, fucking up and wasting my time. So like, you know what I mean? Like, I recently just went through a little situationship with this one shorty I was talking to and shit like that. And I felt like even before that though, I was already going in the right direction with my sobriety, with everything I wanted to do, and then hooking up with her, and everything kind of messed me up, and I was kind of crashing out. I've been crashing out these last 2 months. And then the best thing to do, I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna be going to jail. I don't want to crash out. I need to feel accomplished. Let's do something. I want to see what I'm capable of doing in a short period of time. Like, what we got going on? March 28th, Black Art Gallery. It's gonna be in the building. You know what I mean? Like, we're going up. So
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Here, let's talk on that then. So the new show that you have, March 28th, Blowback Gallery. We got ICMG headlining and a bunch of other dope.
Yeah, we got ICMG headlining there. So ICMG, you can follow them on Facebook. You can follow them on Facebook all over. They're a collective of different artists too. There's like 5 artists on there. They've been doing some big moves. So I'm pretty stoked to bring them down to Pueblo. Pueblo needs a different scene with some different talent. Excuse me. And then I got my boy Four-Way Ant as a co-headliner for the night. Actually, I'm working on my next event and I'm focusing on him because he has a lot of music coming out too. So I mean, like when I throw shows, I don't just throw anybody on there. I throw someone that's actually has something going on for themselves right now. I mean, Four-Way Anthony's got some dope ass shit coming in the work. So
yeah, he has that Stevie Stone show coming.
I'm gonna be up there with him too, shooting for him too. So, but yeah, so I put him as co-headliner. And then I got a couple different people. I got the homie Hoagie on. I got Sleepy Badway from Colorado Springs. Like I said, I like to throw a little bit of everything on there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got Schizo the Clown. He's a kind of an old school rapper. Not old school, but like he's a OG in the game. So he's coming back in too, you know what I mean? So, and then I got my boy Tito Not Compliance. Same thing. He's a heavy hitter from back in the day too. And I got a show with him. So I got music with him. So I'm going to lock him in. Fucking I got AJ from Out the Box too. You go by Quez now or something like that?
Kez, my cousin.
Yeah, I was just with them last night too, talking about everything too. So, yeah, I just want to get back in the limelight again. It's going to be a good show. It's going to be a good event. And then everybody pull up, ticket links online, 10 at the door. Most likely everybody paying at the door though. But yeah, this is just the first of many though. Like, I don't want to jinx myself. But hopefully that talking about that event and want to throw in Springs will be a part of it too. I just got to work everything, you know what I mean? I want to get it all locked in. As far as that though, but I mean, I just want to keep the show scene going on in Pueblo too. You know what I mean? We can't overbook shows too much though, but it's good to do it when something's about to pop off though. You know what I mean, like people dropping new music and shit like that. I mean,
Definitely.
I remember for a minute before I was on the Ankle Bracelet, there was shows I couldn't even keep up. Every time I look on Facebook, there was an event or a show popping up. I got overwhelmed with everything. It's like damn. Because I used to like to go to every single event. Town just to go out there and show love and check it out though, but I felt like I was fighting some demons at a time where it wouldn't let me want to do that, and then I felt left out for a while too. You know what I mean? Yeah, I started about it. I was like, well, I'm left out because I ain't doing shit. I need to get up off my ass and get to this shit. Oh shit! Drop the merchandise, the Don.com merchandise, which I've been every time I make an order, I sell out. So there's just like tons of shirts out there. I mean that shit was just for fun and shits and giggles and shit though, but now it's actually I'm trying to turn it into my brand, and I mean the entertainment brand. So.
Yeah. So, what's a piece of advice? I guess we're talking about motivation and like continuing to go on. What's a piece of advice that you would have gave yourself a couple years ago, or even just a couple months ago? Because it seems like you're on the right track again.
Yeah, I think the best advice I should give myself, was just not to fall short and not to give up. That was my main thing, is not to give up. I gave up myself a lot. Knowing what I was capable of doing, I gave up a lot. Like when I'm down and out, I'm down. When I'm up, I'm up. But the fact that I guess just don't overstack them. Don't overbook anything in your life because you know what I mean, you get overwhelmed. I think that's what happened to me. I was going in the right track, and when I'm going the right track, I like to veer off in some distraction. I mean, like women are a big distraction in my life. I mean, it's hard. Like I'm going through a very bad DV case and a gun charge. I've been on probation for like 3 years about it, and I've been trying to get myself out of that toxic era. But every time I get with a girl, the toxicity comes back out again. Not in the rest of me though, but in everything though. But the best advice is hey, just keep pushing forward and don't look back. Honestly, that's my main thing. That's a good way. Now that you talk about it on here, that's my main thing. Is keep going forward and don't look back. Because my main problem was I keep going forward, and then I like to reminisce and look back, and then I use the old the past that eats me up, that fucks up my future. Now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to get back on track though, but just that past lifestyle of everything I went through, and the lessons, take them as lessons and the loss. I'm trying to learn from all my losses. And I can't use that against myself either. I don't want people to use that against myself either. But no, let's move forward. Don't look back. You look back, it's going to fuck everything up. You're not going to move. No, I lost too much to turn back. My big thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely lost a lot.
For sure.
But this upcoming year, that's like I thought when I did that show last year, 25, the new year, new me. I felt like that was gonna be my year, but I had to fall down. I had to fall down and get kicked in the dirt, kicked in the nuts, to figure out that this year is actually coming up. It's a blessing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
My health is coming back a lot better, you know what I mean? My mental health, my social life's coming back, and so much opportunities. And my sobriety is the main thing too. Like if anybody's suffering sobriety, keep pushing, because right now I'm on sobriety right now too. I fell off for my birthday last month. I kind of fucked up a lot of things. But sobriety, though, is the main thing, though, too. Like, I have a way clearer mind, you know what I mean? And the homies used to tell me that, too. Like, when we were doing shows back in the day, like, come on, Dom, you can't be getting all fucked up, busting lines and drinking right before we got a show and shit like that. So that was a good state of mind, too. Like, I was living that rockstar life for a long time. So, like, now I'm more sober.
Yeah.
I do my events sober, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to pull to an event all fucked up and all drunk and just, like, on a bender and shit like that. Like, it was easier when I was younger. Now, like, no, but, like, I'm not trying to be that drunk promoter and shit, you know what I mean? I've done shows for Springs where I show up and the promoter was drunk, more drunk than me. I'm like, yeah, nigga, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that sobriety shit, though, that's my main thing. Just focus on my sobriety and just keep pushing forward.
Yeah.
Good shit.
You have any, or let me stop it and end it. Do you have anything else you want to talk to the people? Like, do you have any other crazy stories from shows or anything else you want to mention?
I feel like we could say that for another trailer right now, but this one was just more or less my upcoming and my retirement and coming out of retirement and getting back in the game, though. But I should have hundreds of stuff I could say over there and talk about shows and shit like that.
Yeah.
I just want to talk about all the good shows we had. You know, we had tons of shows, but I don't know. I know I talk about some other shows, I might criminate some people. You know what I mean? Bring up some shit like that. So, but yeah, that was shit. It was a good talk.
Oh yeah, it was definitely. Yeah. Let the people know where they could find you at if anybody wants to.
Oh yeah, right now you
support.
Look support you. On Facebook under Dom Garcia right now. I'm in the works of making a new page, my old social media page, the High Park Promotion. It won't let me log it back into it though, but hopefully by the end of the month, you can find me under dom.com. Just spelled out like this too, all dom.com. You can find me on that. That'll be my main page on Instagram. You can find me on Instagram and dom.com, but just right now, Facebook, stay tuned. You see a lot of flyers going on. And then that's about it right now. Hopefully, by the end of this month, on our next talk we have, I'll be all legit and you can find everything on there, more content and shit coming up too.
Oh yeah.
I'm just getting back in the web work, so slowly just bear with me, everybody, you know what I mean? You can find me out in the clubs and bars everywhere to talk to me, but follow any events coming up under Don Garcia on Facebook for now. That's where I'm at.
Oh yeah, bro, it was nice sitting down with you. This was a great interview.
Yeah, it definitely was.
And yeah, y'all make sure to tap in with dom.com support. Make sure to come out to the show on March 28th. This will probably be released a week before then, but yeah, make sure y'all come out to the show on the 28th at Blowback Gallery. You get tickets right now from any of the artists we mentioned. Make sure to follow all the collaborators and stay tuned. Like, subscribe to the channel, and check out the clips. We appreciate y'all. Tony True Front and Anyone Could Thrive Studios, we out.